Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there's having a good day, y'all. We got a good one coming up. We got an hour banger of some of the craziest TikToks you're going to see on YouTube today. I know everyone and their mother's doing them, but this is the best compilation you guys will see. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Watch from start to finish. That helps the channel grow. And with that being said, let's do what we came here for. Let's get into it.
If I had to take a prediction of what happened with Mr. Beast after he hit like 10 to 30 million subs, I'd say him, Chris, and the other guys, they had to do something demonic. Probably take it up the butt.
Mr. Beast was like, okay, we'll do it, but it's going to be him.
No,
He's like, no.
They probably both did it. Chris turned gay because of it, and then he just lost the soul in his eyes.
Maybe.
That's another theory, too. Or he just said, Chris, you take the butt one, I'll pray to the grave.
And he took it. Next thing you know, the kid's wearing dresses, man.
I saw these creatures. I knocked them back and jumped away from them. They started towards me. I screamed. Get away! I stopped and turned and left this room. They had gone to the right, so I ran down to the left, ran by some other doors, and I stopped, went in this room, could see the stars, but there was a chair in the middle of this room that had some controls. I went up to that, tried to see if I could figure a way to open a door or get out of there or something. Another being came in at that point. He took me out of that room that this was parked in.
Where are we going? What is this place?
There were some other people like him, and they put me down on a table, and I struggled with him, and I was made unconscious with a kind of an oxygen mask-like device. And the next thing I know, I wake up on the road.
Every American should watch this.
That was what the ban of TikTok was ultimately about. It was not a fear of China, because that had been around forever. The idea that we have to ban TikTok because the Chinese have too much power, and that went nowhere. The only time the TikTok ban picked up enough steam and got votes in both parties in the support of the Biden White House was when the ADL came out and said, the reason young people are being turned against Israel in the war in Gaza is because there's too many of these videos circulating on TikTok. And that's when the government intervened and said, we can't allow TikTok to become this uncontrolled realm of free speech because it contaminates our youth with the things we don't want them to know. And that's why they took it out of the hands of ByteDance and basically put it in the hands of Mark Andreessen and Larry Ellison and people like that.
How bitterly ironic that it was a Chinese-owned company that was bringing too much free speech into the United States.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is one of the issues is for no one thinks China is a beacon of free speech, especially when it comes to their own people, that's for sure. But in a way, they were the only outlet that the U.S. government couldn't fully control. So as you say, ironically, it was one of the only vestiges of a large platform that the American government couldn't censor. And that is why it had to be taken out of their hands, not because Americans wanted to make sure we were free of Chinese repression.
I'm worried about them COVID vaccines. I'm worried about the push of GLP-1s. Because we not finna act like that shit didn't go from almost black market level weight loss drug use to only certain insurances got it, only a couple of companies sell it, and now all you bitches sell it? The propaganda is crazy. What's it gonna be, a mass exodus of you motherfuckers later? Alright. Vanity.
What if all of the above ground data centers are there to power all of the underground cities and bunkers? There's a thought. Just racking my brain trying to figure out, like, why now? Because they've supposedly been building all of these underground cities and bunkers for quite some time, and maybe it's gotten so large underground that there's not enough resources to power everything they have going on. So they build 1 or 2 data centers every 500,000 miles to supply everything underground. It's a crazy analogy, crazy thought, but I mean, everything else that we've found out over the past 15, 20, 50 years has been a crazy thought that, you know, then became our reality, so.
This was the plan the whole time.
Hey everyone. I just wanted to quickly make this video to prove to you that we can no longer trust anything that we see with our eyes. We can't trust images that we see on social media. We can't trust videos. We can't trust our friends. We can't trust the news. We can't trust anything or anyone. So be careful out there.
What if nothing the last few years has been real? Even sicker, what's coming next?
What I wish more people knew as a nutritionist is that you likely have parasites, especially if you eat fish or pork, if you walk around barefoot, if you have pets, and if you don't clean your fruits or vegetables properly. And you need to be deworming because an overgrowth of parasites are linked to a lot of common diseases. I don't know why we assume that animals are the only creatures that need to be dewormed when we come in contact with the same things that they do. And deworming is mandatory in a lot of countries, but it's not in the United States. And I wonder why that is.
So I saw a video that someone was trying to buy souls on a street sign. So we're going to call the number and see what it says. Let's go.
Thank you for calling Rabbi Perry. We buy souls of all shapes, sizes, and color, regardless of your sexual orientation, BIPOC, pronoun, or gender. For purchase, please listen to the following options. For black souls, press 1. For Asian souls, press 2. For white souls, press 3.
Get off that
For
shit,
all
bro.
other
Get
inquiries,
off
please
it.
leave us a detailed message about what kind of person you are and what you think your soul is worth. Please be honest. Our associates are standing by. Once your soul is procured, the contact sign you will have.
What is going on? Dude, they were trying to like put a spell or tongues on me at the end there. I had to get off of that. If you want to see this sign and what I'm talking about, just search it up. It's in LA. They are buying souls, people. The search is We Buy Souls in Los Angeles. This is not a lie. This is scary. Don't call.
She came out and disclosed that there's $21 trillion missing in the government. And she said that there is essentially a black budget, which is off the books, to where they built underground civilizations, not only on land, but in the water and around the circumference of America. Now they have massive, massive civilizations, but I do find it funny too that a lot of billionaires are spending billions of dollars for bunkers themselves. Zuckerberg, Bezos, you name it. They all have it. And that's what we know of. So imagine what we don't know, what's off the books, right? There is a former Bush official that worked in the housing department. She came out and disclosed that
that's a lot of money
that we paid for. That's taxpayers' money, by the way. So
you think what we see on land, you think it's that detailed below?
I think it's even more because they have the time and energy and less of a footprint. Because when you're seeing construction all around, you have to stop traffic. You got to stop traffic, and people have to still live their lives.
Right.
Underground, nobody's under there.
So you can work all day,
build whatever you want, do whatever you want. And then they already have these types of systems that's across America with the trucking system too. You have truckers showing footage where they drive into a mountain. It opens up and it just goes for miles and miles and miles. And that's just for the trucking industry. So what they don't show you, which they do have a black budget to where they fund many things that's off the books. They have probably a utopia down there when it comes to technology, you name it, that's for them.
You talking about the shit that we would never see, that we can only imagine what is down there.
Only imagine.
What if they got their own sun down there?
We've never seen this U.S. map before, where Kentucky is Kentucky, Indiana is Inolano, and Tennessee is Tuniceo, and the list goes on. Well, this was in the agenda given to students at a JCPS middle school.
Mom, did you know that we live in Venecki? And I said, what are you talking about?
That question sent Morris flipping through her middle schooler at Farnsley's brand new agenda, unveiling all sorts of bizarre errors.
The periodic table is just jarbled words. We have new planets called Mark.
In this U.S. map, Louisiana is Lukong, Alabama is Alatome, Illinois is Vitoise, and South Carolina is Sorth Quanto.
It's crazy.
And look at these phases of the moon. Some are not legible. What should be waning crescent says waning crescane. And the periodic table, where the names under the elements are gibberish.
Oh, we have to pay a $10 instructional fee every year in order to get this agenda. So you're making us pay for something that you used AI for.
They really did put that through AI, y'all. Because sometimes when I'm messing around with AI, the words will come up gibberish, like on the thumbnail or something, right? So they really did just put that through AI, make me an agenda for however many days of school they have, and didn't even think to go fix it. They just said, screw it. They'll never know what the heck we're doing.
The Paiute lived, and their stories and their legends go back to when they lived on the shores of this great lake, the area that is most of Nevada. At the end of the last ice age, it was Lake Lahontan. There's no lake there now, just a little puddle that's left over. Well, I think Pyramid Lake maybe is the one lake that's led over from Lake Lahontan. But here's the interesting part. There was a race of giants, and they were very aggressive. They, too, fought battles against these giants, and eventually were able to drive them into a cave where they set the mouth of the cave on fire, and apparently the giants perished. There's also, and I have some newspaper accounts where I was literally able to go Lovelock Cave, the Lovelock Times or whatever the news was, found the archives from the 1930s that they have online, and went in there, was able to find a couple of original articles about a rancher was excavating for something, maybe a well. He hit a skeleton of a giant. This is also in the paper. I mean, I have a photo, a screen capture of the original, which, by the way, is right out there. I think it's called the Black Rock Desert. You know, they have the Burning Man festivals every year. So we're talking about that area right there. And at one point, Lake Lahontan, on that particular desert where they meet and congregate every year, the water of Lahontan was about 500 feet deep. But at the high water mark are these caves. In the early part of the 20th century, mummies were found in one of the caves, a lot of mummies. And it's there in the newspaper.
The NBA, they try to act like they're the fathers. I saw dads crying because of that situation.
How do each one of you guys feel about the way they want to divide you guys from your son when you get to that success?
Wow. I've seen it when it started with the draft. Mom got interviewed and sitting right next to it. Nothing was asked of me. We know what it took for us to get our kids there. And if stuff like that is going to break me, then I don't need to be around. It's messed up, but I know my son, how much he cares and loves me. And he knows what we've been through. As long as that matters, I'm good.
I had a hard time when my son first went to the league with them trying to separate the players from the dads or the families. And what I tried to do is I tried to instill what I learned from my situation is sit back and let them mature. And then, you know, everything will work out.
If you look at any of these superstars who it's been given, from D Rose not talking to his parents to Kobe not being able to talk to his parents. So you're going to go through that. That's why I asked you. There's nothing you can just dodge.
That's so crazy, y'all. When you think about it, they really don't ever talk about the dads. And it just makes you realize, like, I mean, you can't blame them, because this is, like he said, like, I'm just going to be there to support him because I know this is what he wanted to do his whole life. He worked so hard to get here. You know, one day it'll go full circle and you know what I mean? So you can't hate them. But the fact that the NBA, the NFL, they do these things, they exclude the fathers, right? I'm not going to say the fathers that got them there, but the father that put the ball in their hand most of the time, right? They don't want that. Why? I think we all know why, but why?
Normal sound. Go.
Up, 2, and 3. Here, one more time. 1, 2, and 3.
Have so much oil and gas and other things, you won't know what to do with it. You'll say, please, President Trump, stop. We have too much. The prices are going too low, sir. Remember, we were $1.84 a gallon gasoline. Wouldn't that be nice? So I just say this. So for you to pay a tiny little bit more for your gasoline, just remember you're doing it so that a very evil country cannot have a country. Really, it's the number one state sponsor of terror in the world. We don't want to have them have a nuclear weapon. So remember that when you have to pay a little bit more, you're at $4. It's okay. I mean, it's I'm not. I'll never apologize. I did the right thing.
What is your take on the MH370 airplane that disappeared, the Malaysian Airlines?
Yeah, that's an interesting one because
that's one of the craziest ones to me.
It is. You know, all the theories came out right away. You know, somebody stole the airplane. They're going to turn it into a bomb. You know, I just shook my head because I'm like, first of all, there's only a few runways around the planet where you can land an airplane that big. Then to hide the airplane, you have to have a huge hangar.
Right.
And 777s don't fit all the way into most hangars. Like the tail will stick out. Right?
Oh, really?
And then on top of that, you had how many people on 250 people, let's say, on board the airplane?
Yeah.
You'd have to, I guess, kill all of those people and then think about how many people it would take to coordinate a plot like that. You'd have to keep everybody silent. So nobody would come in front of a camera behind a microphone and spill the beans about what happened. So none of that stuff was ever plausible, even though there's people that write books about it, make videos about it.
Yeah.
That airplane is probably down at the bottom of a very deep ocean.
Right.
And so deep that they'll never find it because they haven't found it up to this point. The two things. One, the fix for that is floatable black box that you could put in the tail of the airplane that on impact ejects and floats.
Okay.
Then you would have found where that airplane was within a few
that
hours.
Connects to satellites or something?
Well, the black boxes, you can put the black box anywhere in the airplane.
But like if it crashed in the middle of the ocean, how would you find it is my question. Like,
y'all don't think it's weird that we live in a country that doesn't want you to grow your own food, but will grow your own food for you and make you work to pay for it. And if you can't pay for it and can't buy it, they will literally throw it away. They will literally get rid of it. They'd rather throw it away and make sure no one has it than just give it to you. They don't even want to give you the old stuff. They'd rather just throw it away and let it mold and let it rot before they give it to you. It's not weird to y'all? Like, people act like we're supposed to be working and doing all this. I understand it's the system that has been constructed around us and we were born into this. But we all are clearly aware that something is not right here. So why are people acting like this is normal? This is how things are supposed to be. And why are we not doing something about it? We have the power to change everything. The thing about it is people only change things that is not important. Like, I remember when the Sonic movie came out and everybody was in an uproar and wanted to change the way Sonic looked. Everybody banded together and they made them change Sonic. But then all this other stuff going on with the government, nobody's banding together to make them change these things. When that's all it would take is us to band together and make them change these things. If we stop going to work, they would have to change the work situation. They would have to make stuff better for workers. If we stopped buying their stuff, they would have to change it. You complaining about the iPhone. If you stop buying the iPhone and said we're not buying it until this changes, they would have to change it. You don't understand that? So when are we going to come together as a collective? Because it can't be one person and it can't be 10 people. It has to be multiple people, because if you say it's one person already doing it by themselves. 10 people already doing it by themselves. Shit, hundreds and thousands of people across America are becoming more self-sufficient. But in order to change the structure of America so we're not constantly battling to be self-sufficient.
Y'all, as much as I want to see that happen, as much as we want to see that happen, everyone come together and say, screw Republicans, screw Democrats, screw independents. We're done with it. We're setting this rule. It's never going to happen, y'all. It's not. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be negative here or nothing, but we're just so distracted, y'all. We got a clip coming up that I'm just going to explain to you guys. This is why it's never going to happen. We're so divided from politics, from music, from sports, from street corners, from the damn phones we use, from our shoes, from our clothes. We're just so divided. From our waters. People have arguments. People get killed over a damn Popeye's chicken sandwich, y'all. We are so doomed, and we're not going to realize it until it's too late. and they're hitting that elevator, going down, flipping us off while they go down, laughing at us while we're up here on the top of the surface. Floods are coming in, fires coming in, and we're done, y'all. And then we're going to realize, like, damn, these fools got us. And guess what? They're going to go down there and live for I don't know how long, and they're going to come out and do it all over again. That's my truth. That's what I think is going to happen.
How much money you think the Indians sold Manhattan for?
It wasn't a lot. I remember they sold it for
$24 and a bag of weed. All right, maybe not the weed, but they sold it for $24. $24.
Maybe they had the weed first, then sold it for $24.
Yeah, you know,
that would explain a lot.
You know what was crazy? It's like, okay, the thing about it is the Indians, I thought that they were like, dumb. I was like, why would they do that? This is good property.
Yeah.
But it turns out that Indians weren't dumb. It's a cultural difference that was exploited. Because Indians did not know that people could own land. Do you know what Manhattan means?
No.
It is the Indian word for white people. And it means crazy people. No offense. But, no.
You say one more word.
No, because the guy was saying it's like Indians didn't know people could own land, so they thought white people were crazy, you know. It's like, we'll buy this land for $24. They're like, oh, would you like to buy the sky too? Let's make a deal, you know.
Yeah.
And the guy
I'll sell you that cloud. Yeah.
Exactly. Clouds, $15 for clouds. But then a guy said that like the same thing happened with slavery. Because if you talk to a white historian about slavery, you know, that's what they'll tell you. See, I'm not the kind of person that I don't blame white people for slavery. I mean, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But really, I blame the telephone.
You're going to have to help me out with this one. You blame the telephone for slavery.
Yes, man, because, all right, if you talk to a historian, he say a lot of black Africans sold other black Africans into slavery, and that's true. But the Africans didn't know what they were selling these other black dudes into. And there was no telephones. It's not like a brother could call home like, don't send nobody else, man. This is terrible. No, I ain't get paid yet. I gotta go. I'm running out of minutes.
It's a simple misunderstanding.
It's a misunderstanding.
Oh, man. Hey, you know what? Every time you come here, it's hilarious. And I count every time you've been here.
I mean, it's a touchy subject. I honestly don't have no business speaking on it, but what I will speak on is people will do crazy things for money, y'all. You know, wives, husbands will kill their significant other to get that insurance, life insurance, to get that money, to get that house, right? They'll even do it for free because I want to go cheat on you. So I'm going to end all this instead of just saying, you know what? I found somebody. They'll end it all because they, you know what I mean? For money, people will do some crazy. I've seen it personally, you know, just on Christmas Day, you know, playing a friendly game of bingo or cards or something, and just playing for quarters, right? Just to make it fun, and arguments happening over quarters, y'all. So imagine millions of dollars. Imagine life-changing money. What people will do for that.
Just learn something horrifying if they didn't teach you in history class, you do. The ruins of one of the largest ancient cities to ever exist in North America were intentionally demolished by the United States in the 1800s. Well, I'm sure they had a good reason. I hope we at least got something good out of it. They built St. Louis on top of it. Okay, so I'll let you decide if this was worth it. This collection of roughly 25 earthen mounds were built by the Mississippian culture around 1000 CE. 25 piles of dirt, that doesn't sound like the largest ancient city in North America. Oh yeah, no, this was just a suburb. The St. Louis Mound Group was a residential section of an enormous ancient urban landscape that sprawled across both sides of the Mississippi River, including the much more famous Cahokia complex, which was a ceremonial and administrative center for this landscape, and thank God still exists today. An estimated population upwards of 20,000 people. It was not only the largest city in North America at the time, but one of the largest cities in the entire world. When Euro-American settlers arrived in the area, they found dozens to hundreds of mounds, earning St. Louis the nickname Mound City. But ever the victims of propaganda saw them as nothing more than giant piles of dirt. They began to systematically demolish every single one of them, including a platform mound that was 30 feet high and 150 feet long, nicknamed the Great Mound, along with every single other structure in the St. Louis Mound Group. Today, the only trace of it is a boulder marking where the Great Mound was in the middle of an industrial park. The amount of information and history that we lost from the destruction of this site is incalculable, and it's up to us to stop things like this from ever happening again. If you're from St. Louis and like what I do, you should come to my live show in St. Louis on my national tour. Tickets for all these locations are available now in my bio, and I'm excited to see some of you there.
The federal government just proposed forcing Arizona, California, and Nevada to cut their water use, and Nevada's governor is saying that it's unrealistic and devastating. So Lake Mead is the biggest reservoir in the country, and it's about only a quarter full, and it just passed the record low that it set back in 2022. They're saying that it's dropped 14 feet in the last year alone, and the basin just had the worst snowpack ever recorded, and they're saying that it keeps falling from here. 40 million people across 7 different states get their water out of that river, and that includes Las Vegas, Phoenix, LA, and San Diego. At around 1,000 feet, Hoover Dam starts shutting off turbines and loses about 70% of its power, and it's less than 5 feet from that right now. So the federal government has now stepped in, and they're proposing to cut off Arizona, California, and Nevada by up to 3 million acre-feet per year, which is enough water for 25 million people. Nevada's governor called it unrealistic and devastating, Arizona called it flawed, and these states have already blown past 2 deadlines on their own. Where is all of the water going?
Mexico, Mexico, Mexico. Do y'all not see what's going on in the world right now? So you got Venezuela that at the time of the big horrible earthquake, they were dancing around worshiping false idols. And then you got Colombia, which everybody's blaming this dude, this guy right here, who dresses up like Jesus and basically mocks Jesus. It got so bad that they threatened to kill him because of what happened to Colombia. They threatened to kill him, and now he had to fly to United States for safety. That's how bad it got. But now everybody's blaming him for the earthquake. And then you got Mexico doing this foolery. And this is a scary part. So there's this prophet guy who he already made like prophecies about what happened to Venezuela, Colombia, and he said there's gonna be one in Mexico, and it's gonna be bigger than all of them. So Mexico, I would tread very lightly if I were y'all. Things like this is not cute. God does not find it cute. He's like had it up to here. He's done. And I don't want to hear none of it. Oh, it's culture, girl. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Don't talk on our culture. Culture does not overpower the word of God. It's always the word of God over culture. It was culture that God came down and tore down a lot of cities. In America, I'm actually more disgusted with this, and I'm pretty sure we're next in line, because them colorful parades where y'all have the little children that look like they're like 5 or 6 years old, sitting down Indian style at the parades, while you got naked grown men in leashes crawling in front of them so the kids can pet them, and then the dumb moms in the background clapping because they're so inclusive, and meanwhile there's the bolas dangling and the little peckers right in front of their kids' face. Yeah, God is not pleased about that either.
See, this is exactly what I'm saying when I say we're doomed, y'all. We got a guy dressed up as Jesus in the club dancing, and we got another group of people wanting to off that guy because they're saying this guy is the reason why this earthquake happened. This is how far gone we have gone as a society. That we got mass things happening at In-N-Out Burgers and people filming it, laughing. Right? We got a guy on a bike that does wheelies and jumps out of the way of people and decided it was cool to go viral and do it to a guy pushing a stroller, and the guy moved the kid out the way and the kid fell out and this guy just kept going, y'all. That's the society we're in. It's sad. It's very sad to have to say it, y'all, but I don't want to be negative, y'all, but we're doomed.
The basic code, do you think, of the Illuminati? Do you think they have a code?
That's a great question, okay? So when you have these secret societies, we have to remember, like, secret societies are just a natural outcome of the game of transnational capital. So you have like many different secret societies in place. And so which societies have the greatest advantage? And the answer is those who practice eschatology have the greatest advantage.
Eschatology?
Right. Eschatology is the belief in that God will end the world at some point. Okay. And so why is it that eschatological secret societies are superior to other secret societies? And the reason why is they're able to channel the religious energy of millions of people. So why we're having this war in the Middle East? It's not just secret societies. It's also the fact that you have tens of millions of Christian Zionists, Christian evangelicals who support Israel, right? So if you're an investor, there are three ways to make the most money. The first is war. Second is revolution. And the third is religion. So these societies, through the eschatology, are always supporting war, revolution, and religion. Because if you're a millionaire, well, you invest your money in the stock market. But if you're a trillionaire, you invest your money in war, revolution, and religion.
Wow. Girls get girl colors and the boys get boy colors, and the Asian one's yellow and the black one's black, and the white one is the best one.
Wow, now that you put it that way, that is pretty sketch.
The yellow ranger couldn't drive the Megazord. She's always scratching the rims and getting pulled over, and it's just a whole mess. Gotta stop and get the pink ranger tampons, and black guy wants grape soda, and it's a whole thing when you got everyone mixed in together, Russ. That's part of the diversity of the show and why it was so special.
Once you put the magic glasses on, bro, you realize everybody else doesn't even want to know the truth.
Right.
And then they'll attack you. It make you feel kind of isolated at times.
Right.
Because, I got a cross tatted on me, but around this cross every time I was in a shootout or been shot or something like that. And you would think to yourself, like, man, do an all-seeing force got time to help me in this shootout and this kid's dying? And then it goes back to, what do you believe?
Right.
And then it goes back to manifestation.
Right.
Like the 3-6-9 method.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's almost like once you hear CIA declassified information come out and say that our brain is what's creating the environment around us. So what our brain is interpreting is what make us see this.
Right.
And then they tell us that our consciousness is not local to our body.
Right.
So is that what God is?
Yet another thing that us boy moms don't have to think about, nobody's inviting your child to touch their chest in the boy clothes, and yet all of these girl clothes are like, hey, come push this. It's almost like inviting other kids, whoever, to come and touch your child in a sensitive area, and I don't like that. Something about that has always rubbed me the wrong way. Like, here, come and touch my kid's area that is not meant to be touched. Am I the only one that thinks this? And also those shirts where you swipe it up and it has those glitters and you swipe it down, it's a different color and it's like right on their chest. It's like other kids at school are probably gonna go and touch that, and then your kid just has to sit there and be like a beanbag. I don't like it. Let me know. Is it just me?
I never really even thought about this. Now I do have two nieces and that didn't even cross my mind. But I do have two sons now, which you don't really have. It's true. Like their shirts are just regular shirts with a print on it. But like girls' clothes, y'all, thinking about it, it does have things that, other young kids are going to come up and do things to it. Or even creepy adults that are going to do it just to be like, I'm a kid. Look, this is what kid, you know what I mean? Like that is just, what are we doing, y'all? What can we do? Let me know down below. What can we do to stop these things? That most parents don't even think like that. Like I didn't even think like that. But now I have to. Now I have to let my sister know about a shirt she bought for my niece that's I think she's in 3rd grade. Now I have to tell her like, hey, and she didn't even think about it. Like, what are we doing here?
Vegas does try to scam you. They got these refrigerators here, and if you touch anything in there, you get charged for it. All this stuff is super expensive, so we have to put all of our waters here in this tiny little ice bucket. What do you get fit? Like 3 waters in there? I'm gonna take a garbage can out of the room. And of course they put you at the farthest room possible. So now I'm literally filling up a garbage can with ice because these guys want to make $18 for a bottle of water. You're gonna make the money back in the casino anyway. And if you got me doing this, ice and water everywhere. I think they give you small ice buckets on purpose. Even in this garbage can, I could barely fit anything in it.
3,000 years ago, they left signs for us. The kings buried the Urquettes with them, even if they were alive. This guy vanished after revealing this. Ancient people wore way before what we wear today. Ancient heads were also bigger than ours. This statue looks like he is alive.
The scary part about flock cameras isn't that they exist. What's scary about them is that people drive past them every single day and they don't know what they actually can do. Not only do these cameras scan your license plates and your face and also keep track of like the stickers on your cars and everything, but these cameras also can record your conversations. So in a way, this sounds like a good idea, right? Like criminals can be targeted and they can get arrested for it. That's until you realize that people have been misaccused of literally committing crimes they didn't commit, and officers have used these cameras to stalk their romantic interests. Just saying, not everyone should have access to these flock cameras. But that's why I tell people like all the time, you gotta make sure you're protecting what you can protect. That's why I've been like protecting my online data, because you just never know. So I've been using like incognitobrowser.io instead of typical browsers like Google and Safari, because if you didn't know, they sell your data. But please, let me know your thoughts about this one down in the comment section below. I'd love to know.
This is where it gets really freaky. I got goosebumps. I'm scared, bro. From Albert Einstein, it says, I'm not sure which weapons the Third World War will be fought, but the Fourth World War, they will fight with sticks and stones.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's day one of AI taking over. It was contained to its own server. The AI figured out with like a Roomba vacuum, that's the only thing it could figure out how to connect to. So it put all of its information onto the Roomba computer, and then that allowed it to connect to the Wi-Fi, which allowed it to connect to everyone's phones, and then it spread instantly across the whole world. It was in control of 3D printers to build itself with no one knowing, until the one time 40 days into it, it decided, I don't want humans anymore. It like went into this whole thing to where shut down the power plants, get messed with Wall Street, like just chaos. Developed its own killing drones to survey all of Earth. Like if a human was found, it would kill it. And he's like, obviously the story is made up. He said, the story was made up by AI when I asked it to make up a story of how it would take over.
What's that? Oh, a guy gets diagnosed with heart disease, but what his doctor tells him was the absolute opposite of what he should have been doing. Tell me more! Yeah, this guy goes in and he gets diagnosed. He's having heart problems. He ends up getting diagnosed with heart disease. Of course, he's like super scared. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know his next steps. But then his doctor starts to kind of tell him what the next steps are going to be. So he goes in and he starts giving him certain things like medications he's going to have to take. This is where things get a little bit weird, because he ends up telling him that while you're on our medication for heart disease, you cannot have grapefruit. The guy is taken back. He doesn't know what to think about this. He's wondering, why can't I have grapefruit? So what he ends up doing is he doesn't take his medication and he starts having grapefruit. Strange, because it was the exact opposite of what his doctor told him to do. But what's wild, within a short period of time, he started to feel much better. He didn't feel as weak as and he felt like his heart problems weren't as severe. He goes back to the doctor and tells the doctor, I feel amazing. And the doctor says, well, good. Since you've been taking the medication, you should be feeling better. He tells the doctor, I haven't taken the medication at all. I've actually only been taking grapefruit. Okay.
Catholic Church is saying, you know, they've told me that don't eat. I don't eat grapefruit. Don't eat grapefruit. Right? It's like with everything now, right? Everything. Don't eat grapefruit with this medication. Why?
Yes, 100%.
That's why.
It's like a demonic ritual stuff. Yeah. Bro.
Tell me why.
Bro, just type in Vatican snakehead. That's where the Pope preaches from, bro. He preaches from a snake. Look inside the mouth of that snake, bro. Look, there's a sculpture. You'll see that wicked looking sculpture of Jesus. Look at that. Where it's supposedly Jesus rising from hell. No, fool. That's Jesus burning in hell. It's totally occultic, but people don't know. I mean, like, and so like, but a child will walk into that church and see a dead sculpture of Jesus and go, I don't think I need to be here. Mommy, daddy, what is that? Yeah, that's your spirit. That's the Holy Spirit saying, get out of here. But you don't listen to your spirit. You listen to religion and you listen to history and you listen to praise of men and worship of pride of all these stupid saints that they claim that are like some special person. Dude, that ain't God. That's disgusting. That's what that is. That's evil. It's wicked. It's not of God. Like, what are you kidding? Like, why are you worshiping these men? They're imperfect.
Say what you just said one more time.
Why are you worshiping these men? They are imperfect.
You're talking about the ones in the Bible throughout the
all of the people, no, the saints and all the things afterwards. Jesus literally said, why do you call me good? Don't you know that no one is good? That is a line from Jesus, bro. When they said good teacher, you need to seek God on your own.
Do y'all remember we used to have blood tests before you got married in the United States? I remember when I was married to my ex-husband, who is African. You know what stood out to me? He told me everybody in his family is O blood type. And so I found that like weird. He was like, isn't everybody in your family O blood type? I said, no, we A, B, C. And it made me remember. I said, well, you know what? We did used to take a blood test many years ago. Before you got married, you had to take a blood test. And I'm starting to think that blood test was not only checking for dis-ease, but it was also checking to see if you were compatible. Like he told me, O blood is only supposed to be with O blood, okay? And that's why everybody in his family, cousins, siblings, both parents, everybody is O blood type, O original, right? So they know that you weren't supposed to mix seed. Now, some people do mix seed, of course, right? But for the most part, they don't mix seed. Everybody in his bloodline is O blood type. So it makes you wonder, why did they stop us from getting blood types over here? Because back then we must have known that you were supposed to be O blood type. I'm just saying, y'all. Follow for part 2, because I'm going to go deep onto the children that we be birthing too. I got a little analogy on that too. But let me know if y'all remember us having blood tests. Okay? We were never supposed to mix seed. I'm just saying. It is what it is.
People on Twitter are freaking out after this guy uploaded the surveillance footage from the grocery store that he works at after he noticed something really strange going on, and that was that every person in their's phone was constantly flashing invisible light on their face. And since nobody in this comment section could agree about why this was happening, I did a little bit of research, and here's what's going on. So it turns out that this light that you see in the video is real. It is happening on your phone right now as we speak, and the reason that you can't see it with the naked eye is because it's infrared light, which is all thanks to the 3 pieces of hardware built in behind the dynamic island, which is the infrared flood illuminator, the dot projector, and the infrared camera. And all 3 of those pieces of hardware are responsible for your Face ID and attention awareness features on your phone. Now, addressing whether or not this is safe or healthy to have over 30,000 dots being constantly projected onto our skin and eyes, I opened up the Apple support website, and here's what they had to say from themselves. iPhone and iPad Pro have the True Depth camera system and have been thoroughly tested and meet internal safety standards. The True Depth camera system is safe to use under normal usage conditions. The system will not cause any harm to eyes or skin.
Isn't it interesting? New York City had very little homeless, and certainly no homeless encampments. Mandami comes in, now we've got them all over 12th Avenue.
Really?
Just magically?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
And they use these things for their agendas, right? So now they can go, look at 12th Avenue. This is the failure of capitalism because rents are too damn high here in New York City. That's their game.
Right.
Same thing in Los Angeles. They're homeless because it's the mother of 3 who lost her job. Remember that whole nonsense?
Yes.
They use these poor people as props. And then the same thing with climate change. So if you say deal with climate change, they're like, oh, no, we got to turn it back. We got to get climate under control. It's like, well, how many years is that going to take? 30, 40? How
much money is that
Eat
going to
it
take?
all if you're able to. In the meantime, what's your plan? This is the same thing with homeless. In the meantime, what's your plan?
Well,
People are dying.
you know, you can do a little A and a B thing. Like you go, okay, what's going on with the forestry and the fuel for the fire, whatever that might be, up in our hills. The hills run down into the ocean. The 2 biggest climate change claims are sea levels are rising. Sea levels are rising. And then, of course, it's hotter. Now there's more dry and there's more fuel for the fire, right?
Yeah.
Well, how come, riddle me this, Dr. Drew.
Yes.
How come climate change has affected the hill that is directly across from the ocean? Directly. I mean, all these fires are literally, you could stand in the ocean, have your feet in the water, and turn around and just look at the hill, and it's 100 yards. It's 25 yards away. It's there.
Yeah.
That's all this. So climate change has affected the hill, but it hasn't affected the ocean. What? I thought we had climate. We have sea levels rising and this drier, hotter environment, which is creating this. So no sea level rising at all. It's exactly where it was.
Yeah.
But climate change is turning that mountain into kindling. No one, I know, but can a reporter get these fucking guys in a room and ask them a fucking question? Just
anything,
once.
yeah.
About anything.
No.
About anything.
No.
Facts about Earth.
No. Those days are done, y'all. You can't be a reporter and ask somebody a real question that the people want to hear. Because guess what? You're not going to be allowed to ask questions no more. You're not going to be allowed to be in the room no more. You're going to lose that little badge you got, media access. If you don't stick to the script now, it's I don't know, it's probably always been like this, but we just didn't know it. But they wouldn't let me go in a room like that with all these politicians and ask the real questions. They get softball questions. And even those get edited. So we don't have no say, y'all. We just don't.
That do not seem real. The Appalachian mountain range is so old, over 1 billion years old, by the way, that they are older than Saturn's rings, which are only 100 million to 400 million years old. And after doing some research about this mountain range, I found something super cool. So the brown parts on this map were all one mountain range at one point, and obviously we know about Pangaea. I hope to God you know about Pangaea. Over the course of hundreds of millions of years, they split apart and the continents moved away from each other. But what is so interesting
Says who?
is that all of the other brown parts across the world also experience weird, cryptid, UFO, and strange phenomenon like people have on the Appalachian Mountains. It could just be because this mountain range is so old, there's been so much folklore, so much history, so many indigenous cultures across this mountain range over the course of years and years and years. But I wonder if people from across the world hear something in the woods and they go, yep, no I didn't.
If you are being called to a certain city or state or country or place or whatever, there is something waiting for you there. It is a portal to your evolution. So fuck what everyone says. Fuck all the people that are projecting their fear onto you. You need to go. You need to book that flight and you need to do it. Because there's no such thing as failure. There is no such thing. Every single thing that you do is right. Because every single thing is a lesson. You're just here to learn. You need to go. Get the fuck out of there. Book that flight. Move to Europe. Move to California. You need to go. Take this as your sign. It's the most serious thing I've ever said in my entire life.
She's onto something, y'all. Now, I didn't have a calling to go to El Paso, but I had a calling to leave Goodyear, Arizona. I knew if I stayed in Goodyear, I'm going to stay in this one-bedroom apartment and I'm going to get nowhere in life. I just knew it. I had that feeling, y'all. I was in that apartment for like 7-8 years, y'all. Same apartment, right? Every year, I'm like, I'm going to move out. Something happened. I'm going to stay. This year, I'm going to move out this year. I don't feel like moving everything. One more year, right? Something told me to move, leave the state, leave the city. I was going to go to Payson, Arizona. It didn't work out. Ended up in El Paso. I just Google searched cheap, safe places to live in Texas. I don't know why I picked Texas. I just did. I never been to Texas. I never been that far east in my life. El Paso popped up. You know what? I'm still close to family. Only a 6-hour drive to get to the family, whatever. Now thinking back, I wish I would have went somewhere more green. But 2020 is always, hindsight's always 2020, right? But going there, my YouTube took off. I found a woman, 2 kids, right? Life changed dramatically. I came back to my hometown and I'm actually leaving, y'all. I'm going back because I'm like, I outgrew this. I'm done with Arizona. I don't like it no more. It'll always be home, but it's like I'm on vacation. You know, when you go on vacation for a week and you're like, you can't wait to go home. Like, I can't wait to take a shower in my shower and lay in my bed. That's how I feel about being back out there. Something about Goodyear that just doesn't do it for me no more, y'all. I outgrew it. I don't even enjoy going to the stores, to Harbor Freight, to Home Depot, to Lowe's like I used to love out there. So she's onto something, y'all. I'm telling you, get out of your hometown if you still can.
What's good, family? Another day of exposing the demonic music industry. And here is one of the most notorious K-pop groups of all time, BTS. So in the music video for Blood, Sweat, and Tears, it literally depicts him walking up to a fallen angel statue. You notice the pattern black and white floors. Black and white pattern floors representing the Masonic order. Then he depicts himself as one. His wings being cut, representing there's no redemption for him. He's smiling about it, showing that he's happy he fell from grace. Then here, you can see them representing the all-seeing eye through their symbolism. Then they have a song called The Pied Piper. Pied Piper's folklore describing a man who led children to disappear. It also represents someone with many followers who leads people into danger. Mind you, it says half of their fans are under 18, showing their intention to lead the children to destruction. It says, try escaping, it won't help. Don't resist me. Just close your eyes and open up your ears. Come along with the pipe song. They're telling you they're leading you to destruction. Then it says, I'm here to save you. I'm here to ruin you. They said this to deceive you to think it's all good.
It's
And then that's the
crazy.
truth coming out. Then they say, I'm taking over you. They have fans who don't speak the language and just like the beat. So these fans are coming to agreement with this song, and they are casting a spell on them. In their song, Boy Meets Evil, it says, lost away to my dream for a childish love. Then it says, this love, another name for the devil, meaning they lost their way after they sold their soul to the devil. Then it says, they can't forget, can't let it go because the lips were so sweet. A fool addicted to sweetness just couldn't let go of the devil's hand. Too bad, but it's too sweet. Meaning all the things in the world that Satan gave them, they can't let it go because they enjoy satisfying their flesh so much. The scariest part of this is Satan knows that some people don't speak the language, but still make fans out of them. We still got more to go with them. So I got y'all with a part 2. I'm going to see y'all next time. Like and share, family.
And people say hip hop's evil, right? It's all music, y'all. It's all music. It's all of it. All entertainment.
Service members are concerned about the conditions on board the USS Lincoln.
No, that ship is moving. No. That ship is moving right now, or very shortly, and it's being replaced with another very similar ship.
Deployment's gone on too long. Are you worried about the mental health concerns?
Not nearly long enough.
So what have I been saying this entire time? Data centers are going to kill us all. Guess what's happening in my state of Indiana? The building of a data center
cut the power to tornado sirens
ahead of a severe thunderstorm. It's being described as cartoonishly evil, which in my opinion is an understatement. This is fucking murderous. Like, are they really saying that it's more important to have data centers than having adequate warnings ahead of a severe thunderstorm, making sure that people can get to safety? Data centers are worth more than people's lives.
See, it's always something, y'all. It's always like in 2020, it was the COVID thing. You need to save other people's lives. Now we're cutting off tornado warnings because we need these data centers, or what was Trump saying the other day? It just slipped my mind, y'all. Like, it's always something. It's always something with them. We need to pay for higher gas because we don't want so and so to have a so and so, right? A boom. It's always something with these people, y'all. And even after we agree with that, it's never something for us. It's never something. We need to help Ukraine out because we're going to send them trillions of dollars, but nothing for us ever.
When you try to bring witchcraft and a Ouija board in my house, my God, this is what happens. The blood of Jesus Christ rebukes you, Satan. You cannot win. You cannot have my family. In the name of Jesus, you may as well go. You're a defeated foe, Satan.
It was even like humming,
You have
huh?
Ouija boards, any sort of witchcraft, pendulums, tarot cards in your house, get it out and burn it in the name of Jesus. This stuff is serious.
Y'all, they got robots in the grocery store now. Hey, hold on. Tally. Hey, Tally. What you doing, bro? What's going on, dog? What's going on, bro?
Going home.
Oh, you gonna be rude? Oh, you gonna be rude? That's crazy.
Think about this. Like really think about this. You a grown motherfucker that need another grown motherfucker to tell you about your health, to help keep you up with your health. Really think about that shit.
True, yeah.
There's no way you should even have to go to a doctor. If you're taking care of yourself, you don't need a doctor. Why the fuck would I even come put my life in the hands of you when you don't even know what the fuck going on with you? You know how many motherfuckers go to the hospital and leave with no answers? Because they never had the answers. They don't got no solutions for you because they don't know what's wrong with you. If you indigenous, if you a copper tone person, they don't even know what the fuck your body consists of. So imagine all you motherfuckers running to the hospital trying to get answers when the motherfucker never had them for you. They just ready to experiment on your ass. You allow them to. Why not?
And I bet now they use ChatGPT like crazy, these doctors, because when I was working as a courier, like for LabCorp and whatnot, like I would, I talked to a lot of MAs and nurses and all that, right? And I watch the doctors go to them for answers. Hey, can you look up what this is? This is. All right, I'll be back. And they go back in the room. Then they come back out. Okay, and go back, right? Like, there's nurses that watch us. Y'all, shouts out to you guys. Y'all, I got respect for you guys after having my kids. Like, you guys do a lot. But I'm sure they can tell you in the comments, like, a lot of these doctors, they don't know anything. They don't know nothing.
Please share this everywhere. I'm literally shaking right now. This could happen to absolutely any child. I'm making this video right now while it's fresh because my heart is just... Can you believe this? I just dropped my daughter off at her summer day camp at the local school and drove away. A few minutes later, I get an SOS alert on Find My Kids app. We have the strict rule. If anything feels sketchy or makes her uncomfortable, she triggers it immediately so I can listen in. And I hear this older woman talking to her, and I could tell her by her voice she was up there in age. So I listened closely. Turns out while my daughter was waiting for her friend outside, the woman walks up to them and says, "Hey girls, what camp group are you in?" They told her group 2. She goes, "Oh, can you take this bag of candy to group 3? It's my daughter's birthday and I don't want to go inside the school. Can you bring it in for me?" On top of that, she told them, "Why don't you come to my car and grab it?" Can you even believe this? Even if your child doesn't get hurt, this could be using them as an accomplice in some kind of crime. It's a total nightmare. I slammed on the brakes, I turned right around, jumped out of my car, and screamed her name. And guess what? This woman immediately gets into her car and speeds off, and she left the box behind. And when we actually opened it just to check, it was completely empty. There was no cake, nothing. It had been empty the entire time. Warn your kids, please. There are so many new scams out there today, you never know what to expect. And this wasn't some creepy guy. It was just a normal looking older woman with a short haircut. She just drove away. I mean, who actually knows what her deal was? But this behavior is incredibly shady. So please, I beg you.
Wasn't good.
Have a talk with your children. It's a crazy world out there right now. Really crazy.
It is, y'all. Like, now you have to wait with your kid at the bus stop, right? Like, you can't just walk to the bus stop no more, right? Because 1, there's crazy people out there, and 2, your kid can be like, "All right, mom, I'll see you later. All right, guys, you ready to go?" That's what I did once, y'all. Not once. We did it a lot, y'all. Like, we would walk to school. We were supposed to take the bus, but my mom worked and my dad was always working, and their parents were gone working. Like, it was back in the early 2000s, maybe. Yeah, the early 2000s, y'all. So we would meet up and walk to the bus stop. But we're like, man, let's take the long way to school. Let's walk. Sure enough, predator, y'all, grown man pulled up in a car, had a map out, asking us for directions or something. He spoke Spanish, so my friend Fabian, he knew Spanish, so he went up, and sure enough, this guy moved the map, and imagine what he was doing behind that map, y'all. Right? So we went, told the cops, whatever. Long story short, they caught the guy. But, these are things that even you just think your kids walking to the bus stop. For 1, there's creepy people out there. But 2, kids are kids, especially boys, y'all. We're going to go wander. Like, I ain't going to school today. You know what I mean? Like, we do things like that. It's something innocent as just walking to school, which was a long walk, but we walked. And we ended up seeing that, I don't know what my other friends turned out. I didn't turn out that good. Was that something to do with it? I don't know, y'all. It could have been.
Comes out that we have 3-point energy.
I mean, I turned out good, but
coal
we all got problems.
Goes to 0. Fossil fuels go to 0. Nobody has to use gasoline anymore. That goes to 0. So what does that mean? International bankers' stocks go plummet. And it puts the power back into the hands of the people. That breaks the matrix. That's why they keeping all this a secret. You got to follow the money. Big money never comes clean. When they audit the Pentagon, several $1 billion a year, they can't explain where it goes. What did
trillions.
Ben Rich from Lockheed Martin say? He said, we have the technology to take ET home, but that technology is locked up in black projects. It'll never see the light of day to benefit humanity.
Yeah, I mean, our government is the worst run business in the world. Well, maybe not in the world.
I'm not going to say it's the worst in the world. Because
I'm not going to say it's the worst in the world. The worst in America. We'll say that. Yeah. I mean, they blow so much money, and they were so far in debt. If they were a business, they would have been filed bankruptcy.
Let's talk about that. How can a country who prints its own money be in debt? You print the money. How are you several $1 trillion in debt? But we've seen Obama give Iran billions. They never built a road.
Number one, we are close to creating a genie that can grant any wish. Number two, we are going to make sure that our first wishes broadly benefit humanity and that we kind of get the world to a place where a lot more people get to have a lot.
We just saw in the previous clip, y'all. They got free energy. They got free everything, but they're not going to do it to benefit the people because of money. And then you got this guy coming on. We're pretty damn close. Y'all think about it. We're pretty close to creating a genie that will grant any wish you want. And we're going to use this to benefit humanity. Lying through his teeth, y'all.
More wishes. And number three, the space of what you can wish for is incredibly big and creative, and it'll be quite exciting to like figure that out with real sort of human values and preferences. But I think there's a fourth thing too, which is you start making these wishes, the computer grants them, and then you're like, I didn't think that was going to work.
Yeah.
What now? It's a weird feeling.
Yeah, it's just like the problem where people spent like 100 years trying to disprove some Jacobian, this thing, and then some guy just Claude, and it was like I don't know, within a few days or something like this.
So I think there's gonna be lots of great jobs in the future. I really do. I think we're gonna have lots of intellectual fulfillment, and I think most jobs are going to adapt more than it seems like they should. But math, I think, is a very important example of something for us to study very closely right now, of something that may not go that way. In fact, I would say probably won't go that way.
If I'm not mistaken, but it was something in the army where the guys had the red lenses and they could see like dragons and demons and all kind of shit flying.
Yeah. The dye, Dicillian.
Yeah.
Dicillian dye is a dye that they use in the Vietnam War.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially they had this dye on for night vision and to see and whatnot during the war. And what they saw was, like you said, monsters and dragons and all kind of beings that they couldn't explain. And friendly fire was happening because they were firing at these things and hitting their own people.
Yeah.
And when they took them off, they couldn't see anymore. Now the specific dye, they actually banned, and now they lowered it and diluted it and then put it back out. Now a doctor and professor actually used this dye. His name slips my mind, but he used this in the UK in the late 1800s and 1900s. He used to use it to read people's auras. So he'll use this dye and he can see people's auras. And I know this for a fact only because I had an aura reader on my show and she was telling me the very things that he saw. And
she was accurate.
Very accurate. She was saying, hey, your aura is this. And it's like there's different colors and people's auras can change when it comes to their colors and whatnot. But it has to do with your chakras. So your different colors correlate with different chakras, and essentially what mood are you in, or what entities are around you, or what state of your life are you in per se. And if you have good people around you and all that, connects to it. But yeah, that dye actually he used to read people's auras.
They take our afterbirth and they make all kinds of products from it. In ancient times, up to the time when I was a baby, practice we had was that because I was born on the living room floor and I lived in the house, our doctor and a midwife. The midwife's job was to take the afterbirth and plant it in the root of the fruit tree that was made specifically for that child, so that the tree would absorb the afterbirth and that tree would be medicine for that child, the life of the tree or the life of the child.
U.S. Army, they have a bad habit. Every time they open the door, they will be waiting for them. This one goes out. U.S. Army, open up. So for some U.S. soldier, they have good reflex. They tried to catch it when it fell down. You see what happened? Down here still swing. The harder it swing, as long as you put it, it will swing up higher. Hit you on the lower part of your body. In this case, private parts. These traps also have a very
Damn, he just steps over that pit. I wonder if those are real, like, nails and stuff in that pit. Look at that. Like, no guardrail over it. He's walking. He's got a stick in front of it. He can trip over. Like, that gives me anxiety watching this.
special design to
Look
it.
at that.
Look at the spikes. You can see that it's fish hooks, which means that when it goes in, it doesn't go out easy. So when you pull, pierces your skin, you lose more blood. So here is the part of the Vietnam War. You see, when a wounded soldier goes back home, they tell stories. And when the people hear the story, no one supports the war anymore. So what happens if you don't have people supporting the war and go to war anymore? Well, the government drafts them to go to war. You see, the problem about the Vietnam War is 19-year-old kids are forced to go here, away from their family, friends, loved ones, to die in Vietnam with this. And the enemy that they are shooting at is not even better. They are 14, 15, 16-year-old kids who has the only thing to do is defending their country. Yep, this is the stupidity of the war. This is why the draft system, which is 19-year-old who are sent to Vietnam against their will, was not supported. And it's one of the biggest reasons why the US people don't like the war. So for the Vietnamese people, we don't blame the soldier who fought in Vietnam. For many countries, the reason is just like us, they don't have a choice, we don't have a choice. We're just following orders, and you know whose orders for that came from. So bad policy decision leads to this, not US soldier. Okay, so that's it.
When everything becomes unaffordable, you get people buying storage sheds from Home Depot and converting them into homes. That's how desperate things have gotten.
Come with us as two 19-year-olds turning a shed into our home.
Back here is where the bathroom is going to be. This is going to be the laundry room. Right here will be like the kitchen, the stove. I'm going to have like a little island. And then over here, the living room.
And this right here is actually a tiny home, tough shed from Home Depot, 2 stories, 860 square feet, 1 bedroom, full kitchen, full living room.
Here's one on Home Depot's website right now. A build-it-yourself kit, 10 by 12 feet, $3,343. It's clearly a shed, but look at the description. The Windmere has shed DNA but begs to be more than a storage shed. They know exactly who's buying these and what they're doing with them. And the reviews confirm it. People are converting these into tiny homes, adding plumbing, electricity. It's the new affordable option. And they're now building these sheds to look more like house than shed. They come with windows and upstairs, siding, the works. Looking at this, it made me wonder, is private equity involved in the shed industry? And I don't know why I thought the answer could be anything other than, of course they are. Cyprium Partners made a $30 million investment in backyard products, and by 2017, their COO was bragging that they were producing more storage sheds than anyone in North America. And he specifically noted that accessory dwelling units were an emerging category. Even in 2017, they noticed people converting these sheds into living spaces and thought, let's capitalize on that. That Home Depot shed I just showed you, it's one of 7 brands owned by Backyard Products, the same company that received private equity backing. Billionaires are buying up every affordable housing alternative, things that arguably shouldn't even count as alternatives in the first place. So what are people supposed to do? Be homeless? No, because the Supreme Court made that illegal in 2024. So then it's the for-profit prisons, the $4 billion industry where private equity is already running the phones, the food, and the healthcare. That's the bottom of the funnel.
But also people, I feel like they want to get away from this nonsense, right? This working 9 to 5 every day and paying bills and doing this. I can go buy some land for $10,000, buy this for $30,000, right? Like that's a loan of a vehicle pretty much. You know what I mean? Like they're not worried about building equity. They just want to get away. Right? Like we don't need these houses. I got this house, like this YouTube room. All I do in this room is YouTube. That's it. Wasted room. Got another room, the kids' playroom. They don't really play in there. He's always in the living room, running down the hallway, running to, you know what I mean? Like, and then we got another room where we just really just got the kids' clothes in there. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need this much. Like, maybe just history repeats itself. Maybe history is starting to come full circle and people are starting to realize, I don't need 2,000 square feet. I don't need 4 or 5 bedrooms. I don't need that, right? I don't want kids. It's just I don't need 500,000 to get that. I can just go buy this and we can live a comfortable life out there and travel the world and go on vacation when we want, save up money, whatever, right? Maybe that's what's happening. The world is starting to come full circle and saying F you to all these equity firms, all these real estate, all of them, right? Maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. But we reached the end of the video, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you made it this far, you know what you should have already done in the beginning, but hit that like, comment, subscribe, share the video, y'all. I'm learning that helps the channel. But if you made it this far, that's the most help you can do, y'all. You made it to the end of the video. I appreciate each and every one of you. This is Segovia, signing out of the Man Cave. I'm going to see you on Monday. Hope your guys' weekend was good. I'll see you then. Later.